Yeah. So what's going on? What are we talking about? Thanks,
Honestly,
Ross.
if I ever
Yeah.
start, I kind of want to start a company called Technical Difficulties. Maybe not even tackling technical difficulties, but it's just like you work in tech and there's always technical difficulties.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyways, all right. We're starting. So I'm Megs. This is Dave. We're from MetaMesh, and we're really here to talk about, I think a lot of us are frustrated that Canadian regulators are wielding their power in a heavy-handed way, to regulate an industry that maybe they don't fully understand yet. And it's going to have a severe impact on all of us. So I think the question we're going to ask here and answer is Canada open for business?
Good question. Good question.
And how do we get it open for business?
And business, yeah, the crypto business, of course, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Digital assets, crypto. All right. So I think we're going to start with just laying the context out. So we've had in Canada way more than our fair share of high profile bad actors and crypto exchange collapses in Canada. Just last year alone, we had Quadriga, which, I like to call the Tiger King of crypto just because crazy what happened there. And Einstein as well, another 30 million. Quadriga was, 214 million Canadian. But Dave, did you know, because I'm not sure it really made all the news out in the US as much, but here, last week, the Ontario Securities Commission reached a settlement agreement with Canadian cryptocurrency exchange Coinsquare. And that settlement was for three things. And now just quick context on context, the Ontario Securities Commission is sort of the regulator with the biggest clout in Canada. And because here we don't have a securities regulator, federally we have one for every province, and everyone kind of looks to Ontario when it comes to how they're responding to different policy or regulatory issues. So Coinsquare was found to have conducted market manipulation on their platform. I don't know if you want to pull up the OSC agreement just to show sort of the official document, Dave. Yeah. But so what they found was that, or what the settlement was, what Coinsquare was doing was that the CEO and two other staff, they were inflating trading volumes and an illegal practice. So wash trading is illegal in Canada. So they were inflating their trading volumes. And so between Q4 of 2018 and Q1 of 2019, 90% of Coinsquare reported volume was faked.
Wow.
I know, right?
Man.
And I kind of got, yeah, right?
Man, you guys must have been studying American fraud, because that's American level fraud right there. I don't even know. That's like, that might as well not even be a real exchange.
No, so
wow.
Well, can I just say something? It's always one of those, like, hindsight is 2020. So Coinsquare did this YouTube video a while back, and if you want to pull that up, it's one of their like tagline was "Invest with pros, not cons," at Coinsquare, and it's just like, guys, you're making us look bad here.
Okay.
Just play.
Okay, let's see. I gotta make sure the audio is. See,
shut the audio up. But
I get the audio up. Okay, so I'll just start at the beginning. Yeah, hold on.
So they had wash trading. They had misleading statements to investors. So investors were like, "Hey, your volumes are like crazy. Your volumes are, you're trading 1,000 Bitcoin in a day, whereas others were trading maybe 10. Like,
it looks like a Spike Lee film or something. Like, they look like they're scamming me.
Well, I know, but like, trust us, we're not scammers.
That's not them. After I've already flipped out. Okay, we have comments in the chat. I know in our current setup, Mags is on the road right now. So I don't know what that's playing. I'm gonna remove that from the screen. Okay, so we have some comments from the chat. Okay, so Mike Olthoff, thank you. He's saying, he says he told everyone for years that their volume was fake. They had 1,500 Bitcoin a day, he says, in volume. Kraken had 60 in Canada. Yeah, and Tony's saying Kraken seems like the best option right now. But thanks for you guys' feedback. Like I said, you know, we're always, we have different setups, and eventually it'll all be one screen. We can all even invite people. You guys can hop on. You know, next time we'll let you hop on and you can chat with us and tell your story. If you have a really good story to tell and you have a good setup on a laptop, I could let you hop on in a little bit. But we'll get back. We'll get back. Do you want to respond to that, Max?
Yeah, so you're right, and I remember sending these numbers just to other people in my industry, being like, "What's up with Coinsquare? How are they bigger than Kraken?" And I think what's really funny too is that Gerald Cotton of the failed and fraudulent QuadrigaCX threw shade on another exchange, and I highly suspect it was Coinsquare. He's like, "Oh, we're not wash trading like some of the other guys over here," and that was in the OSC's official report of the postmortem of Quadriga. So I think it's just kind of ironic and hindsight 2020. But they also made these misleading statements to investors, because everybody kind of goes on Reddit and they're like, "Hey, what's going on with your volume?" Right? And they're like, "Oh, no. Like, this must be bots. We're going to be right on top of that." And the third thing they did, the third thing
I'm just laughing. Oh my god!
I know. But
this video, this is equal to the moment when I did a live lightning trade with you on Twitter, right? I'm blown away that anybody would, Mike here is telling people, CEO Kraken's telling people, and their own video is a highly produced example of what they're about to do to you, and everybody just like trusted it. Oh my gosh.
I know. Okay. I think it's because we're Canadian. Everybody loves us.
You're so trusting. Okay. The real thing I want to know is, like, did people lose a lot of money on this?
No, not Coinsquare. This is just more like the regulators are now coming in strong and saying, you are now, like, our interpretation is that anyone trading in cryptocurrencies that are not immediately settling the trade, as in I buy crypto and it goes directly to my own wallet that I control, it's a security. Even if it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum, any other crypto, it is a security. Therefore, you are subject to all the securities laws. And one of those laws is that, wash trading is not allowed. Because, when you're wash trading, what it's doing is it's creating fake volume. And it's kind of creating this false sense of security for customers, because people associate high volume with liquidity, and it might bring more customers to the exchange because they think they can get, a more representative price of, for example, Bitcoin, because it's not like there's a big gap between buy and sell. They're probably, a lot closer together. And so they think that, between thinking that they might get a more fair price and between seeing kind of this like, positive feedback loop of, hey, there must be tons of customers trading here. This looks like the biggest exchange, like 10 times Kraken volume. Of course I'm going to go here. These guys are legit, right? And so,
next, I just did a quick, I Googled this. It's really funny. I said, Kraken CEO throws shade. And apparently there's a lot of shade that the ex-CEO is, like when I Googled it.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, Dave, did I lose you? Well, I'll keep going. Maybe Dave will jump in. But they also, so another big thing, and actually this is just like for all of Canada, they made a reprisal against an internal whistleblower who was saying, hey, guys, I'm not comfortable with this wash trading. And this kind of like set legal precedent for like all industry about whistleblowers. But so it just, for me, I don't like to see stories like that, because people think of Quadriga, people think of Coinsquare, And, maybe they kind of paint us with a bad picture of bad actors when it's not the case like that for Canada at all. I think we have some amazing, people who are working with regulators and trying to work within the regulatory framework. But also, I think it's really, I'm really worried about, these incidents are kind of delaying an evolution of a mature crypto ecosystem in Canada, because we need to fight these additional negative perceptions. Because when people think about, cryptocurrencies and crypto exchanges, they're like, Quadriga, millions stolen, fraudulent exchange,
Hey, Meg.
watch trading. Yeah.
Sorry, I got booted out by my own misactions. So thanks for keeping going. But Tony was right before you said that. He said Canadians really need a trusted crypto exchange. So what you were just saying from the chat on YouTube, and he says Wealthsimple seems to be entering the market. Hopefully more will follow. So okay, so what Tony's suggesting, it sounds like, is that one way to build more trust besides Kraken and what's Pam's exchange?
Oh, Bitvo. We love Pam.
Yeah. So Bitvo, we know Pam is legit. She's awesome. Bitvo is awesome. But like, he's got a good point. What do you think? That one way to build trust is to have more trusted parties, so that when new people enter, it's not like, Kraken or this person. It's like there's a bigger community of people.
That's a really good point. Yeah, you can bring in, and honestly, I think too, I think we need these legacy players too to come in, because in some ways, I think crypto has been tainted. So we kind of have to, it's almost like, a PR nightmare that we now have to respond to as a company, but we're responding to it as an industry, and having players that maybe have more connections or clout because they're seen as being around for a long time, maybe connections with ministers, or they have more resources to put at play for educating regulators and policymakers, for organizing educational events, or speaking with other institutions to kind of make them understand this is an evolution and we're getting to a more mature space. We're here, now it's clear there might be regulation. So I do think it's it could be very good to have more legacy players. And I mean, we were seeing this in the US, Visa, even more globally, with Visa swinging in. We've got, what's the app that everyone's using in the US to buy crypto on? Cash App. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. Simplest way to invest in crypto. So that looks like they're not entering. It looks like they have entered, but I don't know if this is just for what it doesn't say what country.
I missed this. This is really recent too. So thanks for raising that. You have to dig into that. Yeah. But
wait, I don't know if I should trust them because they don't have any scammers on their site wearing gold chains in a shady room. Oh my gosh. Okay. By the way, it's really funny. Like, we were setting up our lights and everything. Again, Mags is traveling, and I was like, oh, we want to make sure we don't look like dark and shady. And then we watched a video that was dark and shady. I'm like, that's why we don't want to look dark, because it doesn't just look bad on the video. It looks ominous. Like, hello, I'm going to take your money. Okay. So,
no, but as I was saying, I am a bit worried about Canada's competitiveness. We're in a world where China's about to launch their central bank digital currency. There was a job ad last month for Bank of Canada, for a project manager for a central bank digital currency, but China's just about to launch one. Like, we're really behind. Dave, what's going on in the US on, in digital dollar?
There was discussion at Congress, and then it kind of went down, but like, they started imagining what it would look like. And with the Fed so much free money right now, but also resisting it at the same time. With the bill this week, I think that digital assets are going to be like a centralized digital currency is not off the table. But I think that because we're such a powerful currency worldwide, there would have to be like a lot of sales control, because they like being the primary reserve currency. And they like changing a fraction of an instant. They love it like that. If they change a fraction of an interest point on loans, that it could crash another country's
Yeah.
economy. I kind of like that part. So anyway, but yeah,
but I think it's amazing what you guys are doing, though. You guys are having all these hearings, even, bringing Zuckerberg in and Marcus to talk about Libra and their broader impacts. You're hosting sessions all the time now without talking about digital dollar and the policy implications. These are broadcasts like for the public to watch. You guys have amazing work going on in Wyoming where they've really created this very broad kind of regulatory framework that kind of sees different elements, including, that important piece about banking. And speaking of banking, the US Office of the Comptroller signaled last week that banks can provide cryptocurrency custody services for customers, like stamp of approval over here, right? Meanwhile, in Canada, we have Bitcoin companies that were trying to get loans for COVID relief, and they couldn't when after like 16 emails of back and forth, it's like, well, it's because you're actually in the cryptocurrency industry. So like regulatory certainty is amazing because companies know, like, I can operate here. I can get banking services. I can pay my workers. I can get a loan. Like that's huge for competitiveness, so I'm just worried that we're kind of falling behind a little bit.
Yeah, by the way, it's mind blowing. This is a .gov website. You're right. And we should have, next time maybe we should call Brian Hubbard. Maybe call him right now. Media like, yo, Brian, we're live. You want to talk to us about crypto? You'd be like, who are you? No, but this is great. Yeah, I mean, literally, what is that? 6 days ago. And then following up here on what you were saying about Didi, about the China central bank digital currency, Didi, which is the Chinese version of Uber, they're going to be building in the central digital currency into the app as a trial.
They're putting in standards. They're doing pilot projects in different parts of China. Like, this is already pretty far along.
Wow. And look at that. Yeah. We don't have that. Oh my gosh. There's no Uber station. There's a Didi station.
Didi station. Yeah. Wow.
Didi took one. Oh my gosh. Jeez.
The West have their own options. But I don't want to stay on here forever. So,
for sure.
What's the important message here? Like, what are some of the things we can do? So I think there's a few things. Like, I've always strongly advocated, we need to collaborate more strongly against the ecosystem, because it's really, right now, it seems that we need to band together to kind of fight this negative PR, and educate and just kind of keep working along to make sure that we stay competitive. And, maybe that's partnering more with fintech or legacy finance. I think we do need to explore these options. Maybe it's a rebranding issue, crypto's dad, scammy 2017. We are now digital assets, right? Maybe there's a bit of that's needed, just so that people don't immediately think ICOs and scammed. But I also do think that we need to engage policymakers. So again, there's regulators and then there's policymakers. Policymakers and ministers, they set laws, they make laws. And usually these laws provide the authority for someone like a securities commission to operate within. It sets their mandate and what they're responsible for and what's legal and what isn't. And so why talk to the middleman? Cut out the middleman, and we need to engage policymakers even more. And so I think there's actually an opportunity coming up. Ontario has Ontario is currently underdoing a consultation. If you can pull up that the page for the consultation, they're looking at how can we make capital markets more efficient, and they're calling on exchanges, dealers, anyone in the financial markets industry. And so I really do encourage everyone in Canada who's involved to consider submitting documents and banding together to do a more wholesome, like, look at all these people. This is our, however many companies we get together, has a lot more clout on what we think some of the core issues are. But, so can you scroll down a little bit? So, this is a consultation. How do we modernize our capital markets? This is where I feel the industry needs to kind of have their voices heard, because that's where the rules and laws will be set. And if thinking about things like more broader issues like banking, like, that's where these broader policy questions and intersecting policy areas could be discussed, and other things too, like maybe like privacy and digital identity. So I think this is a real opportunity for us, our industry in Canada, to kind of make a difference and make sure that we remain competitive and get heard. Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, the FinCEN, which is Department of the Treasury in the US, ironically, like most of the work done in crypto here has not been by the SEC, which is the equivalent of this. They work together with the SEC, of course. But yeah, they did a huge, not a round, like a seminar discussion with very similar to this in the US to say, like, hey, what's going on? Like, tell us what we need to know so we don't like regulate you out of existence, because we all need you. So this is awesome. This is really cool. Yeah.
I mean, startups too, they have a lot less resources to bring to bear and try to, create this better, more decentralized, open finance economy. And so, we want to make sure that this innovation that usually comes from scrappy young startups that are working within, regulations, versus, something that's a bit more of a bureaucratic, large institution. So yeah, definitely want to make sure that we have our say. And the other thing, like this video, put in your comments, happy to answer, and follow me on Twitter to kind of stay up to date on this.
Yeah, and we had a little bit of the discussion was still about Wealthsimple and what they allow. So Tony answered the question that Mike had, but basically it was a good question: is does Wealthsimple allow for withdrawals to a private wallet? And he said, no, it's not. It's a closed loop. So again, these are the kind of things that it makes sense from a regulatory standpoint. Like, that's easier. It seems kind of like antithetical to the idea of crypto. I mean, because like as an American, I use Coinbase, of course, and they do have their own ecosystem of Coinbase Pro, Coinbase Trader, Coinbase Wallet, different things. But like from all of them, you can send it out of the ecosystem for 8 cents, half a Satoshi, whatever it is. Like it's when they send outside of the ecosystem, it's just like a regular crypto trade. And but so it's like it's that nice balance. It is they kind of control your crypto for you while they have it. They control your key, but then they give it to you as soon as you want. So but yeah, that was a really hard thing for them to set up. I know, orally.
No, but there's different options, definitely. So there's that option that you mentioned. So Wealthsimple, which is actually cool to hear that there's another alternative. You have the traditional cryptocurrency exchanges where you buy and you can, custody on the platform, or hey, not your keys, not your coins, send it to your own wallet. And then there's QBTC. So there's a Bitcoin fund where they custody on your behalf as well. But pros and cons. Again, the pro is you can put your tax-free savings account or registered retirement savings. You can put Bitcoin into those vehicles. So, there's always kind of, I feel like, trade-offs, but we're slowly kind of growing this ecosystem. But I do feel, again, we got to really, we got to dig ourselves out of this hole that these bad actors keep putting ourselves in, and kind of come together and talk about, like, what do we want the future of capital markets to be in Canada?
This is really funny. This is from a little earlier in the year from CoinDesk, that apparently FinCEN, who regulates money laundering on crypto in the US, less than 1% of suspicious activity reports, which is like basically tattling, right? The legal obligation to tattle. Less than 1% in the US have mentioned crypto at all, which is interesting. I'm not saying we're not doing fraud, but it's interesting that because it's so
way more,
what we said is like it's so tightly regulated that like we have certification with them as well, even just to go on YouTube because of Google Ads. And so it's funny that I don't think I would even, nobody would talk to me if they knew I had a certification with them. They wouldn't let me know. They would not scam near me because they knew I would go to jail if I didn't tattle, basically, or get in a lot of trouble. So it's very interesting.
Are you saying you're a tattler?
Oh, I say up front that my legal obligation is if if I find out that you're scamming people and it's in crypto, I have to tell the government and file a report. Don't tell me.
Because you're an MSP.
Don't tell me. What? Yeah. Yes, we're a money service business because of we want to make free YouTube content like this.
Yeah.
But that's how it keeps people safe. It prevents us from being able to tell you to buy our crap coin, to use a kitchen table language. Like we cannot advise you to do something that's a scam, because I'm registered with the government and they can find out, and they have my home address, and like in order to do certain things on YouTube, and for example, a lot of channels that get shut down in an accident, I would guess they're not certified with the, and if something did happen, Google is going to have to interview us to review our certification. So anyways, it's overregulated, but that makes me feel good, and makes anybody who's filming bad, don't tell me about it. I'm not going to investigate you.
Yeah. But it's actually a really good example of the kind of things we MetaMesh have gone through. Like, we're not, we're a money service business in order, for example, to provide educational content about crypto. Not that, we're launching a token or somewhat, but in a way it's kind of administrative and regulatory burden, and on one hand, and on the other hand, it's kind of like the response to this negative perception and these bad actors that have existed, that we're now in this position that certain channels are being shut down or there's being banned. So you have to find these workarounds to make sure that you're showing that you're not a bad actor.
Yeah, and it's very interesting, because it was frustrating, but I talked to one of our former clients that they're launching the product. We helped them design, and he's like, dude, David, you should be happy that you have to go through this crazy process because it keeps me safe. I'm like, you're right. He goes, he knew less about it than I did, because he's like, I didn't do that. I did, or whatever. He was he was doing real estate commodities or something. I don't remember. But like, he's like, I wouldn't touch MSB certificates to save my life. Good for you, but you should be happy. And he's right. He was right. It protects everything.
Persevere.
And I had another comment that was funny. You saying that, funny enough, by being honest, and it's not illegal, of course, to incorporate in Delaware or whatever, but we're incorporated in Chicago because it's the most sense for me as the U.S. member where I live, right? Well, because of that, it saved us so much money, because since we don't touch money, except if you were to buy a course or a service or whatever, if you sent us money, whatever, for a product, that's not money exchanging. We do not have to register, get bonded, or anything in the state of Illinois, only federally. But if we had been in like other states, like New York or Delaware, it's like a crapshoot. Like we could have just to talk about stuff on YouTube and run an ad. It could have cost us $40,000 to get bonded. I found out. So our honesty and our taxes are a little less. We can't scam as well as you can scam in Delaware. We have to pay our taxes. But we're so glad we did it. We ignored all the advice about making a C corporation in Delaware, and we needed an LLC where we live, and it has saved us dozens and tens of thousands of dollars by being honest. And again, that's the famous last words of what was the Coinsquare?
Coinsquare.
That's famous last words. Anybody telling they're being honest might not be honest. But it made me feel good that that being transparent, although annoying, prevents things like Quadriga from happening.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. All right.
Okay.
So
I think we're at about we're about 30 minutes on the actual stream.
Oh yes.
Early. Sorry, I think you guys sticking around. I see most of you have been here. So we have any last thoughts that we want to wrap up here, Mags?
No, I think that's it. I think thanks for tuning in to kind of hear where currently what's been happening in Canadian crypto industry, and really again encouraging everyone here, whether you're operating and based in Canada or operating in Canada, consider submitting comments to the consultation. Reach out if you're interested in submitting group comments. Follow us on Twitter, like us, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a lot more of these live streams from now on. And, let's work together to make Canada open for crypto business.
And Mags, you're gonna post a link to the call.
Yeah, I'm gonna post.
Responses. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Awesome.
post. We'll post more things. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So,
everyone.
I think most of you are here from Mags. Anyways, you probably already follow her, but at crypto_Mags. She's the rock star. I'm just behind the scenes. I'm the comedic relief and compliance officer. I do the easy. I do the tech, the jokes, and the federal paperwork. But Mags is our rock star here. So thank you so much, Mags, and thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out and sticking around. It's awesome. You guys have questions and we're engaging with each other.
And thanks for Tony and Mike.
Yeah. And, everybody, until we find Mike in jail for fraud, I'm kidding. Listen to people like Mike warning you, like, maybe this is a scam. Pam, I know you and Pam
look out for each other. Sorry,
you and Pam did a great webinar last year about, like, not to trust her. She didn't even mention her platform. Like, how to evaluate something, because you can lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
People evaluate an eBay seller more than somebody they give their life savings to, which you shouldn't do anyways with crypto. But like, you give $20,000.
Yeah. Only invest what you can afford to lose.
Yes. Thank you so much. That's great words to end on. And to all you Canadians, we're embarrassed as Americans worldwide. Nobody's going to notice. You'll recover from this. We have way more things going on. This is just a little blip for you guys. Everyone loves you guys. Okay. Thanks. So thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon. And let Max know on Twitter what you guys want us to talk about next. And if, like I said, if you want to hop on next time, we're going to be launching an interview show hopefully in a couple of weeks, but our live stream, we'll let people hop in too. Like, it's just totally casual. Hang out, bring some coffee, and spill some beans. All right? Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. I'm going to end the broadcast if I know how. Okay.
Technical difficulties.